You run a bakery, just a normal bakery. The only problem is that your customers at midnight to 6 a.m. are mythical creatures who pay with gemstones and ancient gold and silver coins. Tick. Tock. The clock hands crept ever closer to witching hour. Tick. Tock. The anxiety growing with each second. Tick. Tock. Midnight. Witching hour. He sighed heavily, knowing the clientele would change as the hour did. As if right on cue, the door opened. A sharp, dressed man walked forward, his pale skin violently contrasting his long pitch black hair. He would almost appear normal if not for his sickly white skin tone and violently red eyes. Well, that and the fangs. He opened his mouth to speak, but the bakery clerk raised his hand. Let me guess, Al. A raspberry Danish? On point as ever, Ed, said Alucard. Of course, for the last 3 months, the vampire had come in and ordered the same thing every night. At first, the creature of the night was going to drain the baker. Edward thought it funny until Al told him the truth. Luckily for Ed, the vampire had a sweet tooth for raspberry danishes and took a special liking to the bakery. Ed fished out the Danish and put it in the brown bag. That will be $3.50. How about instead I give you a ruby necklace? Edward sighed, heavily again, taking the jewels. Every night was the same. Alucard and many other beings most thought fake or extinct would come in and pay him with jewels or gems. Just once, he would like real money from them, and why couldn't Al pay with real money? He hunted modern-day people yet paid his baker in trinkets. At first, he had pushed back, but he realized it was a waste. The gold and jewels were worth more than the actual price of the food, and he would make a killing if he could sell them off. That was the biggest hassle. As a baker, walking around with thousands of dollars worth of treasure was easily questioned. You could pass it off for only so long before people started to question where you got so much of it. At first, he had been content taking it to the local jeweler who paid well until he made it a habit. Then he had to find a different one, and one after the news started to get suspicious. Eventually, he just started hoarding the trinkets until he could figure a new way to sell everything. Al left, and all was quiet again. It wouldn't last long, Ed knew, for soon the next weirdo would arrive and another, all through the night until the sun rose up and normal clientele would return. Then it would be time for him to rest and relax, like the monsters he served.